Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and last night, towards the tail end of the Locker Room Daily Report, Hussein Alausi asked me a question. It is kind of a common question, but you know what? During TLDR, the Locker Room Daily Report, broadcast live just about every day, either in this YouTube channel or the other one, youtube.com/LockerRoom, those types of videos are dictated largely by the questions you're asking, and I see these types of questions very frequently. So, instead of addressing it towards the tail end of TLDR last night, I thought I would dive a little deeper into my answer today, if only to kind of let you know that I think it's okay to feel the way that you feel. And yes, I'm talking about feelings and technology. Don't get so wrapped up that your identity is tied into the product that you use. And don't get the idea that I'm saying go team go, because the only team you should be rooting for is yours. Your life, your decisions, your devices. My team, hey, it's Chris Pirillo here, the super white team. It's never more apparent than when I'm wearing, like, dark clothing. Hussein Alausi asked, do you think it's time now to switch from iOS to Android? My short answer is yes, I do. And I understand that this may upset people, but why would you be upset? It's not your life. I could also understand that someone may be asking just the opposite. They may be saying, you may be saying, well, do you think it's time to switch from Android to iOS? I would say no to that, because you'd be taking a few steps backwards. I've mentioned that in the past, and it seems that Kismet is definitely at play, because today, in my social feed, being a voracious reader, I constantly take in wisdom and knowledge and information and data and synthesize that to come up with my own decisions and my own perspectives, challenging my own beliefs sometimes. And I know that not everybody, certainly not everybody who watches YouTube videos likes to read, but it may actually do you some good. On Gizmodo, someone published an article titled, iOS is Killing Me. No, not me, him, the writer. Someone who you would assume, writing for a semi-popular publication online, would be exposed to a variety of experiences. So to see yet one more person kind of fall to my side of things, not to say my team, because it's a team of one here, to fall to that side of the equation, I should say, is just interesting. He brought up a few bugs that I guess I've never seen, but I'm not going to sit here and claim that the bugs don't exist just because I've never experienced them. Some people do that. Some people say, well, I've never had that problem, therefore it doesn't exist. Seriously, those people are fun to deal with. I'm using that in a loose term. Fun to deal with. Or I should say, I'm using that term in a loose capacity. I do believe, though, that if you are at the point where you're asking that question, yeah, it's probably time. I think that, based upon what I've surveyed in the landscape of device options, and I don't just mean features, but implementation of said features, experiences across, maybe not every single, vertical, and certainly not from every single manufacturer. I've had to make my choices based on what it is that I can and cannot do, just like you're kind of in the same boat. What you can and cannot do, you're looking for insight. You asked me, do I think it's time now to switch from iOS to Android? I don't think there's any time like the present. I can sit here and tell you that I do interact with iOS sometimes, definitely not on an hourly basis, not as much as I used to, and I'm fine. I could get by in life without using iOS. Just like right now, maybe you could get by in life without using Android. What I'm saying is it's not as tricky as some would lead you to believe. Now, maybe you've had different experiences. You went from one platform to the next and had a bad time. I don't know. I can't speak to your experience. You had that experience. What I'm saying is that I believe I'm more of a garden variety consumer, maybe not a nerd like you. And not to say that I'm not a nerd, not to say that I'm not a geek. I'm just saying that I don't generally care about technology as though it was tied into my personal identity. So in extricating myself from the Apple way of doing things, I knew that it may have been a challenge, and it's certainly not been without its share of hiccups, but I feel I'm better for it, for the most part. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I don't feel like I'm losing out. In fact, I kind of feel more free, and that has nothing to do with the clopen nature of Android and Google's approach to open source software. It's just that there's really no time like the present. You're going to wait another year of your life with something that maybe you're just not so sure about anymore. Maybe you just spent the money on the device and you're really not sure about it. Well, maybe you can sell it. In fact, you could probably get a device that's equally as powerful in relation to hardware and software and somewhere inside the Android ecosystem. Spend less money. That may be an option for you. I don't know. I genuinely don't know your circumstances. I don't know anybody's circumstances. All I can do is just provide somewhat blanket advice for these rather common questions. But it's a good question to bring up, if only because then I read that article, which just it warms my heart, My heart grew 3 sizes that day when I recognized that people are starting to wake up to understanding that software is at least half of the equation when it comes to these devices. And that's exactly where iOS has fallen short by a rather massive amount. iOS is a bleeding head wound. Now, if you choose to use it, fine. That's completely your choice. It's just like, I don't care. I really genuinely don't. I mean, the amount of negativity because I choose to eat let's say oatmeal instead of rice, who cares? It's not your life. Maybe they're going to ask you the same question. You're going to have a different response. That's awesome, dude. You're probably going to have a different response. You're a different person. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah. Now, no time like the present if you're asking a question like that. I'm pointing off screen because I have it pulled up, just the comment there on a screen that you can't see because it's off screen. But, I feel more confident in suggesting that you would have a better time going to Android today with the state of iOS versus moving from iOS to Android with knowing full well that Android is a better experience. Or has been, I should say, a better experience for me. I find that I'm far more productive on Android than I was on iOS. And you can't pay attention to a lot of the myths because that's what those bitter people kind of cling to, like, no, this is the way it is because that's the way it was 5 years ago. Those are the same people who try to hold you to the person you were 5 years ago, and that's just disingenuous. It's not fair at all. But that's sometimes how people are. You got to step outside of their mental box to recognize what your needs are going to be. So don't do this based on what somebody else is telling you to do. Don't do this based on something that I'm telling you to do. It's your decision, man. I mean, I feel like kind of a broken record here. Like, be an independent thinker. Like, you don't need me to necessarily lay this down for you. That applies to just about anything and everything. You're asking my perspective. You're asking my opinion. Happy to tell you. I do think it's time to switch from iOS to Android. But not the other way around. Come at me. I'm sure you will. Let's see your best. Don't throw any myths at me, though. I can't really handle when you're playing in this territory that doesn't actually exist. You gotta base your position on reality. See, that's something that may be difficult to explain to some people out there, but I'm doing this video for a lot of people. I'm very grateful that you asked me the question. You continue to ask me questions, whether in this channel, on social media in general, or during the Locker Room Daily Report broadcasts. Very happy you could join us when we do those. And now, CPU, kind of back. Chris Pirillo Uncensored. Oh, if you think this is over the top, you have no idea. Twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo is where you can tune into Chris Pirillo Uncensored, listen to me record the podcast, as well as become a sub if you are so inclined. And to do that, you'd be able to, or once you've done that, you'd be able to join Discord chat, which is sometimes back there during the live videos. You can also become a patron, patreon.com/Chris Pirillo, if you just like listening to me talk about this stuff. Whether or not you agree with me, that's kind of irrelevant. I'm very grateful that you have taken the time to listen to the things that I say, to be able to respond to this person best I possibly could today, and to surface a little bit of insight for you, or at least to kind of get you thinking for yourself. Big fan of that. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.